magic in the backyard. Go and find it!
We'll head around to all the towns, head away, holiday. South Aussie with Cosi's on sit down. South Aussie with Cosi. In South Australia we will go, head away, holiday. South Australia all the way, South Aussie with Cosi.
G'day and welcome to another episode of South Aussie with Cosi. In this episode, we're looking around my old stomping ground of the Yorke Peninsula, Kadina, Wallaroo, Moonta. I love this place, grew up in Kadina. And in fact, many a fine Crows player has come from this region. Bernie Vince, Sauce Jacobs, they know how good it is. And if you give me the next half hour of your time, I'll show you why you should be visiting this area. First up though, let's see what's on the show. I think I might have found South Australia's best gelati near Moonta. We'll actually catch up with YP lad Bernie Vince, and we'll take a look at how farmers used to work here on Yorke Peninsula. But first, we'll take a look at an Adelaide favourite, the Adelaide Aquatic Centre.
The Adelaide Aquatic Centre is based in North Adelaide, which is 5 kilometres approximately from the Adelaide CBD. It's a fabulous place for families to come, for individuals to come. We've got a whole selection of swimming pools, right down from the wading pools for the children, lap pools. We've got spas, saunas, steam rooms, and a really, really fabulous gym as well. It was refurbished about 18 months ago, and we've got brand new Nautilus equipment. We've got a free weights room, we've got a stretching area, and a group class section as well. We admit 2 adults and 2 children, and you can stay as long as you like, and you have access to all the wet areas.
We've got the Farr family here. They've moved from the UK to live in South Australia. I like that. What do you guys think of the Aquatic Centre?
Oh, we love it. It's great. You have tons of fun, don't you? Yep.
In the last couple of years, the Adelaide City Council has spent millions of dollars on the Adelaide Aquatic Centre, making it much better. So do come in, have a look, see what we've got to offer, because I can guarantee you'll have a really great day.
This week's Foodland Mighty South Aussie is Adelaide Crow and Yorke Peninsula legend, Mr. Bernie Vince.
I grew up on Yorke Peninsula, halfway between Stansbury and Midleton, on a farm there with my parents and sisters. Stansbury, was our hometown. Grew up, played a lot of sport there, local sport there, and currently live with Taylor Walker in Lockleys. I love Yorke Peninsula because everyone knows everyone. It's a really close community, and everyone loves their sport and loves their weekends. So I've got a lot of mates back there and try to get back there as much as I can. I'd have to stay at the Stansbury Bay. Grew up there. We used to go in the caravan park there every summer when I was a young fella coming from the farm. Even though it was only about 15 k's in, we'd go down there and always find something to do, whether it was going crabbing, fishing, or off the jetty, or to go out in the boat. So I'd have to say Stansbury.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Well, welcome back to the Yorke Peninsula. We're here in the Wallaroo Jetty. This has always been a busy part of South Australia. Check out these photos I found from the State Library, dating back to the early 1900s of ships getting loaded and unloaded. And this one's a cracker from 1923, New Year's Day, from right here on Wallaroo Jetty. This place has always been a hive of activity here on the Yorke Peninsula. The Yorke Peninsula is one of the favourite holiday destinations for South Aussies. Why? Well, that's really easy. It's so jolly close to Adelaide. Now we are doing the Bernie Lewis Challenge. This is where I'm going to show you guys how to spend a weekend away on Yorke Peninsula with all the kids doing Gangnam Style or whatever they're doing, and we won't spend big bucks. Now I've got a great spot to stay that is super cheap.
Wallaroo North Beach Tourist Park has a variety of sites ranging from the units that are on the beachfront here to the cabins at the back, and then obviously with your powered sites and unpowered sites. Big focus for us is the family side of the park. So we've just recently installed a bouncy pillow. We've got playgrounds. We've got the large lawn areas here for activities. There's loads of things that we can do in the park here. We hire quite a bit of equipment. We hire out kayaks and they're fishing kayaks. People can take them out just off the beach here. There's a blue line just probably about 100 metres out, and it's not uncommon for people to catch squid and whiting on those blue lines. We've also got four-wheeler carts, which are pedal powered, and then we've also got bikes that you can hire out and ride around as well. We know that people like to travel with their dogs, so yeah, we encourage people to bring their dogs along, as long as they're controlled on the leashes. We don't allow them in and around the cabins, however, we enjoy having pets along. The Wallaroo North Beach Tourist Park, along with the Copper Coast Council, have come up with an exciting opportunity. Knowing what it costs to have a beach house these days right on the beachfront can be extremely expensive. So for around about the $80,000 mark, you can purchase a cabin, 3-bedroom cabin, which is located in the park with an annual fee. You can use that 150 nights of the year. Also, you have the opportunity to lease that out when you're not using it to get some return on your investment. For more information on that, contact the Copper Coast Council and they'll be able to provide you with everything that you need.
You know, I'm always looking for different ways to entertain the kids, and I think I've found a ripper. I've got Tien here. You actually hire jumping castles to anyone.
I do, all around the Yorke Peninsula. If you live in Clare, Balaclava, we will go to you.
Now, I was surprised. Let's say I'm having a big show at my house, big barbecue, heap of families coming, I'm looking for a way to entertain the kids. How much to hire a jumping castle for the whole day?
For the whole day is only $180.
What? So you set it up and everything?
We set up, we take down, we go through all the safety instructions with you.
Yep. See, I like that. It's a different way of entertaining the kids, and you split $180 between a few families, you're laughing. Before I travel out into the regions of South Australia, I always go to the South Aussie with Cosi Facebook page and put it up there and ask the question, what should I be filming? The response to this one on Yorke Peninsula was huge, and about 20 people said the same thing. You've got to check out the gelati place. I didn't even know it existed, got to be honest with you. But apparently this place in here will change my life and taste buds forever. Located only 2 kilometres out of Moonta, I tell you, you just don't get many ice cream places that actually get lineups.
We came here for a holiday home, loved Moonta so much, we decided to stay here, and then we needed to find work. So we created our own job. Not only is the place unique and what we're doing unique, but as a couple we're unique. He's Calabrese, grew up in Calabria, Italy. I grew up in Scotland. So we've got the mad Scot and the crazy Calabrese. That's what I always say, and that's what it's like sometimes as well.
I'm about to introduce you to the other half of the pancake gelati mix here, and I've noticed a few interesting signs. Franco, what's the story, mate? Has she got you under the thumb?
No, not under the thumb. She's all over me anyway.
Now tell me, what's the best thing about working out here?
I love doing gelato and the people, the lovely people around here.
The gelato is artisan gelato. Franco makes it himself. We don't use premix and things like that. The recipes are his own recipes. And we felt we needed something to sort of complement the gelato. And Scottish background, we eat pancakes like it's going out of fashion over there. So the pancakes were introduced for that reason. We started with sweet, then the diabetics. What about us? You know, so then we did the savoury pancakes.
Savoury like this one.
You know, they say you've never travelled till you've been to Moonta, which is just up here. And it's so true. And coming up after the break, I found something in Moonta that you can do for the whole family, and it only costs you $34. Such a bargain, you're going to love it.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Welcome back, folks. We're having a look around my old stomping ground of Yorke Peninsula. Do you know, the mining history in this area is absolutely huge, and it all started when a bloke called Paddy Ryan found copper in a wombat hole. What he did then was he ran back to his big boss, the landowner, Walter Watson Hughes. He told him of the find, and they were, fair to say, more than excited. What happened next was just amazing. Paddy unfortunately likes to drink. He goes to the pub, he blabs about his big find to someone at the bar, then started a horse race. Walter Watson Hughes sent one of his stock workers, bloke by the name of Horn, on horse, leaving here at midnight, all the way to Adelaide to stake the claim on this land. He got there first, Paddy dipped out, and the rest is history. Can you imagine that horse ride? 150 kilometres from here on Yorke Peninsula all the way into Adelaide. Yorke Peninsula is fantastic for an SA family holiday. Its close proximity to the city makes it absolutely A-grade. There's something else here that only costs $34 per family that'll entertain you for the full day, and you get that right here.
Moonta Mines is a fantastic area for families to visit. There's so much you can do. There's the Moonta Mines Museum, there's the tourist railway, which the big and little kids love, and an absolute great thing for families is the Moonta Tourist Office has a multi-ticket for just $34 for 2 adults and 2 children. You can visit the tourist railway, you can go to the Moonta Mines Museum and also the Miners' Cottage, so it's a cheap day out for the whole family. The Moonta Tourist Railway is fantastic. It's about a 50-minute trip that takes you around all the old tailings heaps and the Moonta Mines State Heritage area, and then past the little tourist office which is in the original old railway station. And it makes a couple of stops, but it's really just a fantastic way to get a tour around the whole Moonta Mines State Heritage area. It just gives you a great taste of everything that's on offer there.
On the Moonta Mines Railway, we go through the heritage area of the Moonta Mines, which is back in 1861 when they first discovered copper in the Moonta area. We have a couple of stops on the way. We pull up at Ryan's pump station, then we also pull up at the wet and dry area and we explain how they got the copper, who owned the land at the time and the old heritage.
You know, when I was a young fella, my parents used to bring me on this train probably twice a year, especially around Christmas. And it's so cool as an adult and a parent nowadays to bring my kids back here to do what I did as a child. Think about what you did with your parents. You know, where'd you go on holidays? And that's what I'm saying to you. Take the kids back there. It is so super rewarding.
Well, the main mine guy here was the Water Watson Hughes. He employed a lot of people in the mines, like picket boys. They work 12-hour days for about 7 cents an hour money these days. But you've got to remember they was about 10 to 16 years of age. But after that 12 hours, they also, back in 1875, they made a law they had to go to school. So after they worked that 12 hours, they had to go home and have tea, then go to school for another 3 hours. So they worked about 15 to 16 hours a day.
The Moonta Mines Museum is an absolute must, and young and old love it there because they've got everything you can imagine, from exhibits to show you what a mine was like, even like a little mine shaft. There's the old classroom, there's all the old costumes and dress, and so much history and heritage from the past. It's just absolutely wonderful, and kids are amazed by it because it's things they've never seen before, and grandparents love it because it's a trip down memory lane.
Well, that wraps up the Bernie Lewis Challenge, a weekend away in the Yorke Peninsula on the cheap. Let's see how we went. Well, the petrol set us back $42. Accommodation at the Wallaroo North Beach Tourist Park starts from $120 a night. The gelati, that set us back $22. The Moonta Mines multi-ticket, this is brilliant value. $34 for the whole family, including train rides, museum, and of course visiting the cottage, plus extra food was around $40. So we came in pretty much smack bang for a family of 5 at $250. That's not bad for a weekend away. Farming in the Yorke Peninsula is worth mega bucks. It's huge to the area, and chances are on your holiday to Yorke Peninsula, you'll see tractors out in the paddocks worth hundreds of thousands of dollars that are doing all the hard work, sowing the crops, harvesting, spraying. But back in the day, it was done completely different. Have a look at this footage from the 1930s around the Port Broughton area here on Yorke Peninsula. This is how farming used to be done. The horses drag seeders around the paddocks planting the seed for the crops. And hey, that bag he's carrying right there, well, that'd probably be like a 45, maybe even a 50 kilo bag of seed that he's carrying by hand. It's amazing to think how manual the work was back only really, what, 80 or 90 years ago.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
I've got a great story for you about a horse racing scandal that rocked Australia in 1934, and it ended right here on Yorke Peninsula. Okay, so it involved two horses, one really fast horse here called Irby and one really slow horse here called Redlock. It started at Murray Bridge when Redlock surprised everyone and won. They couldn't believe it. But what had actually happened was the owners had swapped the horses over. Redlock was actually Irby. The owner, Charlie Prince, well, he picked up over 1,000 pounds. They didn't even get caught, so they thought they'd do it again. The next dodgy race that they'd run, where they swapped the horses, was held right here at the Kadina Racecourse. The two race horses were almost identical, but there was one problem. Irby had a white blaze just like this one, so the owners actually used dye to colour the blaze in black to match the rest of the horse. The swapped horse, Irby, wins by 12 lengths, which is huge. But there was trouble in paradise here at the Kadina Racecourse because the stewards received a tip-off and the stewards went over to Irby, the winning horse, got some petrol, scrubbed his forehead, revealed the white stripe, and they were busted. Charlie Prince then spent the next 2 years in jail for fraud for fixing the horse race. And they reckon that there was up to another dozen more races that had happened with the horses swapping over before this bust in 1934. On South Aussie with Cosi, I'm always keen to show you around regional South Australia, but I'm also dead keen to show you around the city of Adelaide. As we know, the city is surrounded by a ring of parklands. It truly is Adelaide's breathing space. They're fun, free, and family orientated. But quite often, I bet you guys don't even come in here for a half a day or a day. I think the parklands may be a bit of a forgotten day trip within the city. So, in order to fix that, I'll remind you just how awesome the parklands are, and I'll show you some of the things you can check out. Ever since 1852, the Adelaide City Council has been responsible for the care of the parklands. But before that, and in the early history of the parklands, it wasn't always such a pretty picture. In fact, there used to be cow paddocks, quarry pits, and get this, even a rubbish dump in the parklands that surrounded the city. Can you imagine that?
Look, I guess I'm as guilty as the next person because this is a bit of the parklands that I walk through every day, or have walked through every day for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And I actually didn't know that this precious bit of the parklands was here. Particularly precious because, not surprisingly, given the proximity to the river, it's been inhabited for long before white settlement. So this is a really significant area for the Kaurna people. 2 German missionaries established a school here back in the day, and they documented the Kaurna language, and it's their documentation that's now used to teach the Kaurna language in schools.
You know, you've probably been driving along Sir Donald Bradman Drive just here, coming home from the airport or heading into the city, and you've probably seen these domes numerous times and thought to yourself, I wonder what they're all about. I just did a little bit of research. It is the universal sign of home. And although they may all look the same, I can assure you they're not. In fact, every single one is slightly different to the other. Megan, the further I dig into the history of the Adelaide Parklands, the more little gems I find, like this one. What have we got here?
This is the Elm Tree Carriageway, and this is one of my favourite bits of the parklands because it reminds us that the parklands are really part of our history. When Light designed the city, he also designed the parklands, and he designed in things like this. Magnificent carriageways which horses and carts would have gone down. Just a really beautiful part of the city.
And this carriageway leads straight into the city. Of course, you've got South Terrace there, you've got Hutt Street. Gosh,
and
we're lucky.
Up towards the hills. It would have just been beautiful.
Having your own South Aussie with Cosi stubby holder would be a life-changing experience. In fact, I put these stubby holders up on Facebook the other day. I got about 80 personal messages of people saying, where do you get them from? Well, the good news is they're now on sale. Australia Post have jumped on board and said, look, we'll ship them anywhere in South Australia free of charge, free postage. How cool is that? Plus, every stubby holder that I sell, I'll donate $1 towards buying cows for poor families in Cambodia. Trust me, it is so awesome. These families get a cow, their life changes. So get yourself a stubby holder, and if you want them, just go to southaussiewithcosi.com.au. Cheers. So far on South Aussie with Cosi, we've given away 17 holidays in South Australia. The good news is I've got 11 more to give away. Do you want to win one? Well, it's really easy, but first, take a listen to the last lot of South Aussie with Cosi viewers, how they reacted when I called up to say, you've won a free holiday.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, you're joking. Oh, that's fantastic. I never win anything. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic.
That is great. That's fantastic.
You could be the next person I'm calling because I've got 11 more holidays to give away in South Australia, including a free weekend at the Wallaroo Marina Apartments on Yorke Peninsula. Fire up the old Facebook, like the South Aussie with Cosi page and enter. Only takes a couple of secs and you could jag yourself a free SA holiday. I'll see you on Facebook and good luck. Well, that's it for another episode of South Aussie with Cosi. Hopefully I've inspired you to travel to the Yorke Peninsula. The close proximity to the city makes this place an absolute goldmine. And you know what? If you never go, then you're never going to know there's something here for everyone. Thanks for supporting South Australia and South Aussie with Cosi. We'll see you on the road somewhere.
In South Australia we will go, head away, holiday. South Australia all the way, South Aussie with Cosi.
South Aussie with Cosi is proudly brought to you by the South Australian Tourism Commission.
South Aussie with Cosi.
I like possums.